I thought it was time for another update on natural gas. Given what continues to happen in this market, the price rallies, sucks in a few people who thinks the bottom's here, bang, smacks them, and the market sells off to another multi-year low. If we have a quick look at the charts at some different periods, we know that since the highs last year, the price is down by about 80% since those last summer highs. So we were up at around $10, recently traded below $2. Just this week, not even 48 hours ago, we've seen the price crash to another multi-year low. So we had a bit of a rally on Friday. As we get used to it, natural gas doesn't last very long. Bang, the price crashes again. And this is now where we've been this week. This is the lowest the price has been since August 2020. So it's a 2-year and 8-month low for natural gas as that trend continues. So I thought, let's do an update. Let's catch up with some of the things that's been going on with natural gas in recent weeks. We'll talk about some of the recent news. Then I'll jump onto the charts. And let's see, has anything changed? There's a lot of people, I think, retail traders have been trying to catch the bottom of this market underwater. Are things looking to change for natural gas? What could be some next possible targets? And are we anywhere near finding a base? Before we get into that, as usual, I'll just mention the fact that there's a couple of things I do. I run a trading course for traders, short and medium term trading. You can find out all about that on my website. I've built a new website in the last few weeks with a bit more information. Go to davidjonestrading.co.uk. I'll put the link in the bottom. There's a newsletter I send out every weekend, just once a week. Quick catch up with markets. What markets am I looking to trade? And a trading tip in there as well. If you scroll to the bottom of the homepage on my website, there's a box. You can put your details in there. And there's also on there a short video I did, about a 10-minute video. What broker do I use? Why do I use them? What's important for me in a broker? There are lots of brokers out there to choose from. So again, I've done a very short 10-minute video on who I use with a link to find out more about them. That's it. So go to the website, davidjonestrading.co.uk. A link is in the description to find out more. Right, let's talk about this natural gas, the ongoing slide in natural gas. So we've had this 80% fall since the highs last June, just above $10, to the most recent low just earlier this week, briefly below $2. This is the lowest the market has been since August 2020, so a 2-year and 8-month low. So what's been affecting the price of natural gas this year? Like last time round, I said we'd had unseasonably higher temperatures for winter in the Northern Hemisphere. So demand has been down. If the weather is milder, then it has an impact on demand for natural gas. So that's the demand side of the equation. And of course, if you look at the supply side, natural gas in storage, so stockpiles of natural gas, this is 20% higher than is typical at this time of year. So we've got, from a supply point of view, we've got more in storage than we normally have. So we do have had something of a supply-demand imbalance. And there's speculation that inventories of natural gas, so storage of natural gas, will reach record highs before this winter. So at the moment, we do have that imbalance. Production is also set to hit a higher daily rate than the record seen last year. So we had last year record levels of production in natural gas. It's meant to be even more this year. So this is expected to continue this supply-demand imbalance. This is a big reason why we're seeing continued pressure on the price. Obviously, at some point, that is going to balance out. The market, the price will get to a point where the market participants decide, well, actually, okay, that's all priced in now. That future imbalance is all priced in. I'd suggest the fact we've seen a multi-year low this week points to the fact we're perhaps not quite there yet, and I think it's interesting to follow this supply-demand imbalance, but clearly we can see it in the sentiment in the market, and that's what we're going to take a look at now. We're also going to take a look at some sentiment numbers, because you can almost guarantee in a strong trend like this, whether it's up, like stock markets have been over the last week and a half, or down, like natural gas has been since last summer, most traders are positioned the wrong way, and it is really at an extreme with natural gas. But let's jump onto the charts and take a look at things. What are the big levels to watch, and what's the sensible trade potentially to do here.
Right, let's get into this natural gas then. I mean, where do we start? Let's start with this big picture. This is the weekly chart of natural gas. Currently, at the time of recording, trading just above $2.03, something like that, which puts it at the lowest levels since the first week of August 2020, which is 2 years and 8 months. That's the lowest we've been in 2 years and 8 months. And it's fairly relentless, this sell-off. You know, we can see the size of the move from the highs, those $10 highs in August last year. Let's flip it over to a daily chart. And here we go. You know, the trend is still down. The trend is down by definition because we've just seen another new low for this move. It's been something of a messy downtrend. There was this bit here in late Feb where we did see a blip higher. The market ran from $2 up to $3, but once again we saw it run out of steam. If we were going to draw a trend line on this natural gas chart, let's just do that. Then the big trend line sits something like that. This is off the highs last year in August. You know, the price of natural gas has to get through $4 to even suggest this bigger trend is running out of steam. So even if the price has got to double to threaten this bigger trend, you know, so it's a long way away from doing that. Perhaps let's take a look at the short term to try and figure out where the opportunities may be and where it might go next. Let's flip it to an hourly chart. If we pick up on the trend, just the last 3 weeks, I've taken it from the 14th of March highs up just ahead of 265. You know, we did have this move right at the end of March, 31st of March, that it broke out of the trend line. But as I often say, you know, if you watch some of the live streams I do, I don't believe the first break. You know, so for me, absolutely, the first break is an opportunity to still go with that trend. And it has proved to be the case so far. You know, we had that sell-off, that gap lower on Sunday night. Let's readjust this trend line because the market has moved lower. So our trend line looks something like this. But let's zoom things in. Let's take a look. We do at least have, I think, a bit of a line in the sand now to watch for perhaps a short-term trend change for natural gas. I think it's interesting that blip up on Friday at the end of March got to about, 212, 213, which is pretty much where it had got to earlier in the week before running out of steam. So let's call it 215. Perhaps if we can see natural gas break 215, this shorter term trend is under some pressure and we could see further recovery. But for now, you know, any strength back towards that level still looks like a selling opportunity for me. You know, that trend is absolutely still down. We know rallies in natural gas, they tend not to last too long, a day, a couple of days before the price gets slammed once again. You know, so if we're thinking about trading this, and obviously it's completely up to you what trade you do, you know, we need to think, what are the chances that if we buy now, we've picked the absolute bottom for natural gas? And let me show you something. Here's a screenshot from a popular broker here in the UK. What are the clients doing? You can almost guarantee if you have a big trend one way, most people will be positioned the wrong way, or opposite to the big trend, shall we say. And here's a great example in natural gas. So natural gas, which hit a 2 3/4 year low earlier this week. Which way are people positioned? They're positioned for the market to go up. So again, you know, people can't trade with trends. It's a big reason why you know, most people lose when trading. They just cannot go with the big trend. So for me, in the short term, $2.15 is a level to watch. If we saw strength from there, I'd still be tempted. Strength into there, I'd still be tempted to be a seller. We've got that bigger downtrend coming in at 4. So from my point of view, as a trend follower, and you can find out more about my approach if you go to my website, davidjonestrading.co.uk. I'll put a link into the comments. There's a bit there, you know, about my trading approach, how I trade, the different time frames I trade, the performance when I was trading this approach in the open account from the 3 months into the end of January, the various courses. You can subscribe to the WhatsApp group, all that sort of stuff. You can see what broker I use. Again, if you go to the website, I'll explain a bit more about what I think is important in being a broker. But for me, just because even if we do get a break through 215, it doesn't change that bigger picture. And perhaps we have seen the absolute low for natural gas. But as we saw on the way up, there'll be plenty of opportunities to get in to this market. You know, from my point of view, on the hourlies, I'd still be looking to be a buyer into strength, a seller into strength, sorry. On the dailies, we've got a bit of, I suppose, bullish divergence, not quite textbook bullish divergence going on, but where the market has slipped to a low, then slips lower still. The RSI is making higher lows. So again, it could be a suggestion that perhaps the weakness is running out of steam. But so many people have been sucked into, all this year trying to call the bottom in this market. I still think it's a really dangerous thing to do. I'll still be leaning into selling short. Let's see how the natural gas chart works out. We'll come back, we'll do an update over the next couple of weeks and see, have we actually seen an important level down here, or is it just going to crash further again?
That's it for this update in natural gas. So, like I say, anyone who's been selling into strength, the 1 or 2 day strength, will have done well out of natural gas as it continues to slide lower. Is this time going to be any different? If it runs up to 215 or thereabouts, for now, I would absolutely still be leaning to go with that trend. Let's see. We'll come back to it. We'll do an update. I'll do an update in a couple of weeks' time, and we'll see where it's trading then. So many people have been the wrong side. A great lesson to not trade against these major trends. To find out a bit more about trading, the courses I run, the newsletter, WhatsApp group, which broker I use, all that stuff, go to the website, davidjonestrading.co.uk. Link is in the description. Any questions, you can drop me an email. I'll have a chat through the site. But for natural gas, we'll leave it there. We'll see where it is in a few weeks' time. But until then, good luck with your trading.